today we're so excited because we have the one and only Brittany Dubins. So she's an upcoming super paddle star playing currently for the PPL. And she's here to tell us all the great things and the juicy things about the PPL and the professional paddle here in the United States.
Welcome to Paddle Smash Academy.
And we are all things paddle.
Thank you. So excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So you were native born here in Miami?
Yep, born in Miami. Went to the University of Miami. Played college tennis there. And now I made the switch. Now I'm living in Madrid.
So we're going to ask you about that. So you went to university here. You started playing tennis, right?
Yes.
And did you even know about the sport of paddle here?
No. I mean, growing up, I never touched a racket. It was all tennis. You know, my dad's a tennis pro. I played at San Souci Tennis Center growing up. So that was like my main thing, serve and volley, tennis, and playing on a full scholarship at UM. And then in my last year of law school, I did a study abroad in Madrid. And it was over there that with my brother-in-law, they had a paddle court in their I guess, house. And he's like, okay, let's play this. You're good at racket sports. Let's try it.
So your mother is from Argentina?
My mom's from Argentina.
And she didn't know about paddle, introduce you to paddle or anything?
Honestly, no. She really, I mean, maybe she heard of it, but we really didn't learn from my mom.
Okay.
It was more my dad, the tennis pro, and then.
Gotcha. So that was the other big question. How did you end up in Madrid? I think you answered that, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah. I mean, basically, I did this study abroad in my last year of law school and fell in love with Madrid. Like the people, the culture. I fell in love with paddle. And I knew it was like the place to be if I really wanted to become good at paddle.
So where did you first see paddle when you were in Madrid?
Yeah, so just playing with my brother-in-law. I mean, we would have like these funny matches because he has no technique. He's like a football player and very fast, but he loves the walls and this stuff. And then me, I have more like tennis strokes.
Yeah.
And so it was finally like little by little when you start playing with paddle people who actually use the walls.
Yeah. So was it a paddle club that you first saw paddle, or was it on TV in Madrid? Where was your first thing like, what is that?
Yeah, and then with my brother-in-law, we signed up for a tournament at a random club. And really, I had very little experience, but I was like, okay, I'm done playing with you. Let's just play with some other people. And yeah, that was my first experience playing at this club, Madrid Central Paddle. So,
Gotcha. How did you do in the tournament?
So we got to the finals of the tournament. It was like a pozo style. Okay. So if you win, you move up a court. If you lose, you go down the court. And we ended up losing in the finals. And
you think that was the turning point for you to say, okay, this is what I want to do?
100%, because so that kind of opened some doors for me. I guess the owner of the club was watching. And so he said, oh, we have like a women's league. Like maybe you should join that. And so I was like, okay, I want to play more. And I ended up joining the league. So then I started playing like every week. And from there, I joined another team that was like a mixed team. So little by little.
So I'm assuming like many tennis players like myself, you're playing tennis inside of a paddle court, right?
Oh, yeah.
So at what point did you realize, okay, this is not tennis, this is paddle?
Yeah, so I'm pretty tall. So my favorite thing is like the overhead.
Of course.
You know, the mate.
All tennis players, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you're playing against paddle players, they have no problems letting the remate touch the wall. They run them forward, and then your offensive shot turns into their offensive shot.
That's right.
So I was like, I need to learn that, you know?
Gotcha.
And so little by little.
So how was the transition? Because as a tennis player, obviously you're good at volleys and your smashes, right?
Yeah.
But then obviously you have to work on your defense on the walls.
Sure.
And then obviously your aerial shots like the bandeja and la vibra. How long did that transition for you to do that? Because those shots are not in tennis. They don't exist, right?
Yeah. So now I've been playing for paddle for like 4 years. And I still think I'm learning. Every day you're learning the sport. I still tell you like the bandeja is still a tricky shot, you know? But I think just repetition, like I've done some lessons and playing so many matches, I think really helps develop those shots.
Do you have a current coach right now? Do you have anyone that you train with?
So I honestly train once a week. And
with a specific coach?
With a coach.
Here in Miami?
No, it's in Madrid. at El Hangar.
Okay.
Yep. But now I'm really looking forward to when I go back to Madrid, starting in an academy. I haven't decided yet. I have spoken to Seba Nerone because I would like to train with him.
Yeah.
I know there's another academy, M3 Academy, or maybe in Madrid Central Paddle. I'm still kind of looking to see where will be a great fit for me because this year I would like to.
So that's a good question. So you're planning to stay, for what you're saying, you're planning to stay in Madrid, in Spain. So you're full on immersed into the Spanish culture, the Spanish paddle, and go for it all the way.
100%. Yeah. I'm playing in the Federados in Madrid. So
yeah, we did some research, and you're ranked 15 in the Madrid Federation.
11.
11.
Oh, 11.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Explain a little bit to our listeners how I know how it works, but each region has their own federation, right?
Sure. And Madrid has one of the most competitive communities, I would say. So I started playing the Federation of Madrid one year ago, and I didn't know many girls. And so that's also very important, like having a partner with your same goals, with your same style, who complements your game. So it's hard to really find a good partner who wants to play with you. So little by little, I found a good partner, and literally in 1 year, I moved from ranking 0, and now we're 11, competing pretty much every tournament.
And
together.
how does it work with the point system? You start from earning points by you playing more tournaments, or how's the system works there in Madrid?
Yeah, definitely point system. There's usually 3 divisions, and based on how many girls are signed up, you get into either the 3rd, 2nd, or 1st division. If you're ranked 11, typically you'll get into the 1st division. So I'm seeing like better competition. The top 10 girls, you have Marta Talaban, who's ranked 20 in the world. Lorena Alonso, I think she's like 50 or 60 in the world. So within the top 10 on a weekly basis, you're seeing girls who are playing World Paddle Tour, and I get to play against them.
And let me ask one thing. One of the things that probably everybody's asking, who's your partner?
Yeah, her name is Irene Cabero.
Okay.
Yeah, she actually signed up for the PPL also, the draft, and she was drafted. But apparently with some international rules, it kind of fell through, I guess. You were only allowed 1 international player, so she wasn't able to come over. I know it was like a heartbreak for me because I wanted her to come, even if she wasn't on my team. But
So do you play drive or the left side?
I play on the left side.
Left side, yeah. Tennis player, I assume you're
definitely
the left
like
side.
the left side.
And is it difficult to find? I mean, does it happen like in the men's that they're always changing partners and all that, or she's been your partner for quite a few tournaments?
Yeah, so the last, I would say 8 months, it's been pretty much only her, with the occasional, if she's out of town or busy or whatever, I've played with someone else. But I think it's so important to kind of have your partner who knows you.
Yeah, of course.
It's important.
Yeah, but I think everybody nowadays, they want instant results. So if you guys lose just a few matches, you see it on the World Padel Tour. You know, they just switch partners because you think there is always somebody better that it can fit your game.
I think what he's saying is people don't want to work to try to get the team to work better together. They want to see results in a week or 2 weeks. If they work together, great. If not, then let's move on.
Yeah.
That's kind of trending right now, right?
And yesterday we had a really good interview with Jordi Lujan, and in the Madrid Federation, is that a professional circuit or is it an amateur circuit?
Well, professional in the sense that there's professionals playing in it.
Okay.
But in terms of prize money and being able to make a living just playing the Federation of Madrid, no way.
That's where we're going, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some tournaments give prize money, maybe 500 per player if you win the tournament. So it's not, maybe they give you una pala. So,
if you're lucky.
but in terms,
just a shirt.
but I think in terms of like training, getting better, it's great to play, and that's why these girls do it, because it is a high level.
And how does a female professional player from Madrid makes a living? If you want to do this 100%.
Yeah, so I honestly think it comes down to sponsors and working with brands who are supporting you. And then also sponsors will give you, I guess, result-based financial support. So if you make it to a certain round, qualify for a certain tournament, win the tournament, they'll give you money based on that. So I'm actually looking for sponsors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So to all our viewers and listeners, Brittany is looking for a great sponsor.
Yeah.
Please, we need your help. So please DM us so we can get her a great sponsor for her to take her paddle game to the next level.
I really would love that, honestly, because if you look at World Padel Tour rankings, you know how many American girls are ranked?
How many?
This many.
No, you're kidding me.
And
Zero.
you know who's American in the podcast here? Me.
That's true.
I love it.
So do you see it more competitive there in Spain versus here now that you play the PPL?
So I think the PPL had a really nice level, to be honest, especially with the stars like when Ana was amazing, Marta Marrero on my team. So you obviously have some great level. But I do think, at least in Madrid, there's more. There's more.
Yeah, that's what's important.
So now that we're in that subject, please tell us who you're playing with in the PPL, who's your teammates and all that.
Yeah, so as soon as we found out Marta was on the team, I was super excited. But
what is the team?
Miami Paddle Club.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that was.
So you have Juan Martín del Potro. It's sort of like the spokesperson of the team, right?
Yeah, he's definitely.
So how did you get drafted? Like, how did that whole process work for you?
I mean, there was no other team I wanted to play for other than Miami. So I was like, Ronnie, who's our owner, please.
I saw your video.
Yeah, I got to play for you. And then it was conversations with Davis, who was really important in recruiting and having, video. And we met him before to talk about, how it would work. We really didn't know that much about the PPL going into it. And then, they selected me in the draft.
Yeah.
So
And who's in your team? So it's you, Marta Marrero,
yep, Paloma
Cortina from Austin, Texas.
Yep.
Spanish, Austin, Texas.
Exactly. And our fourth girl is Fernanda Espinosa from Mexico.
Okay, and on the boys' side?
On the boys' side, we have Ruben Rivero,
Okay.
Jose, who is also from Texas, Mateo Coles, and Simon, who's from Mexico.
And how did you guys do in the last round of the PPL?
So we had an unbelievable start to the season. We basically went 5-1 going into the semifinals weekend. And then in the semifinals, we kind of had an unexpected outcome where we lost to the Cancun team, who we had already beaten.
What happened?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Marta was playing with Paloma against Ana Maria, and those girls switched sides.
Wow.
So I think that kind of threw off our team a little bit, and I don't know. I think it was a little bit of an unfortunate day for us.
It was a smart move for them, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was 1 point. So what happened with the other 2 points?
Yeah, we give them the credit, and then our basically so we had the men's doubles, and we lost 7-6 in the third.
Wow.
So it was a tough one. It was a tough one.
Yeah.
I think if it would have gone to mix, we would have had a great chance, to be honest, with Marta and Ruben, who are unbelievable and hadn't lost a match since. But
why don't you explain to our listeners and viewers how the PPL works? What is the format? What is the system? I know you guys play, 3 weekends in a row? Go into the details.
Yeah, so basically the PPL has 7 teams. I'm representing Miami Paddle Club, but there's Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Cancun, Toronto.
Las Vegas.
Yep.
Arkansas.
And basically they had everyone play everyone. And then the top 4 teams would qualify for semifinals and a finals. So how do you win a head-to-head match? You have a women's doubles, a men's doubles, and if you split, then you go to a mixed doubles to make the deciding point. So
something very interesting that we discussed this previously. How much money are you getting paid for it?
I think what I'm getting paid is different than what other players are getting paid.
Really? Why is that?
I feel like, I just think each contract is more different. Also because I'm also coming from Madrid, maybe versus like a local player. But basically, if you won a match, I was getting paid $1,250.
Okay.
And if you lose the match, but you play, you get paid $1,000.
So every single match or just a day?
Every single match that you play.
Wow,
that's interesting. That's good.
Right. So I assume each franchise has their own
agreement.
Yeah.
Right,
Is that
right.
different than other
Yeah. Well, I'm
franchises?
gonna be
We
honest
heard
you.
we heard differently.
We get a lot of
I want to know.
we get a lot of different. Well, you have to watch our podcast. So we get a lot of different response from that. But I guess it all depends on the franchise and what their policies are in agreement.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question that I ask probably all the players here, but I guess it's more important on the female paddle players. Over here, I asked our last guest if they can make a living here in the USA playing paddle, and they pretty much said no. We can't. It's very difficult. Can you make a living playing paddle in Spain?
From experience, I can't tell you because I haven't committed to it. Prior to the PPL, I was working a full-time job, 9 to 5, and then playing paddle after work. But I am planning on not doing that anymore and really committing to it. And hopefully with sponsors and giving myself a chance to do it, I think you can make it.
Wow,
I think you can make it.
great.
I'm not sure what the ranking would have to be. I think there's a lot of factors that have to go into it, but I think it's definitely possible.
So what are your goals to get to the World Paddle Tour? Is that it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So how do you jump into World Padel Tour? So you're playing the Madrid Federation. So what you have to go do the previas before? How's that work?
Right. That stuff. So it used to be that you had to be ranked, I think, like top 15 in the federation to be considered for a wild card into a previa. So now I'm sort of in that range where I can sort of try to ask for a wild card. But I also know that there's it's also about the ranking. So maybe hooking up with a partner who already has some points would probably be helpful in order to ask for the wild card.
That's to get into the previous, not into
Right.
the main draw.
Right.
So you get a wild card, and then you have to do well and all that.
Yeah.
Do you get paid when you play the previous of the World Padel Tour?
As far as I know, yes, but I don't know amounts or anything.
So now what do the sponsors do? I mean, do they provide you a revenue, a salary for the whole year? Do they provide you money for trips? What do they how big are they when it comes to being able to do it for a living?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're looking for all sort of financial support. So there's training, there's gym, there's travel, food, even
All the
transportation.
basics. Yeah.
It's all the basics. Any small amount to big amount helps. But I heard that, to compete 1 year and travel and play pro paddle, it's going to be around $60,000 just for your costs.
Yeah.
And with $60,000, you think you can just pay all the expenses, the training and all that, and that will be included
Right.
for you to have. So that I mean, compared to a tennis player, that's pretty good. I mean, this is not that much money.
Yeah, I think it's more reasonable, more within reach, and hopefully sponsors say that, okay, that's not that bad. We can help.
Okay, but very interesting question here. So the $60,000 or euros, is that based in Madrid or is based in United States?
It's gonna be Madrid.
Madrid.
Definitely
Yeah.
not Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely
would've been
cost
cover
of
your
living. Yeah,
Yeah, cost of living, the tapas are much cheaper over there than here.
totally. Yeah.
That's very interesting. And so do you see a big difference in between the PPL level of playing compared to the Madrid Federation or the World Padel Tour level playing? Or what was your experience there?
Honestly, my experience was the PPL is a very, very great level, and I'm sure it's only going to get better. And I think that, I'm right there with them. So I think playing in the World Padel Tour, playing in the PPL, playing in the Federation, it's very small details what makes the difference between me and Gemma. I mean, I think she does everything, I think, with less unforced errors. But I think I would have, if you say, just as good as a remate that she does on any given shot. But her, maybe her lobs are a little bit higher. Maybe she gets that extra ball back. So that's
or maybe her experience. How to change the game, how to adjust based on the player she's playing. That's years and years of playing.
Right.
That's
and I think I think the three of us we have a tennis background and now we move into paddle. But in tennis, it's about power. Overpowering the opponent. And if you don't have those weapons, there's so much you can do. But paddle is completely the opposite. It's about having, like you said, that finesse. It's about not hitting hard, but not to make mistakes.
Sure.
It's also a team. It's also a team. sport,
Team.
versus like tennis where it's just your individual, right? So in paddle, you have a team, and you have to have a good partner and understand what his role, their role is, and what your role is, and,
Yeah.
and that's how you succeed.
So when you play with Marta Marrero, former number one and all that, did you play together with her, right?
Yeah.
Did you felt something that she was doing different that you're not there yet? I mean, what was your feeling playing with her?
Playing with Marta was unbelievable. I felt like she was such a leader on the court. She knew exactly what to tell me, to one, keep me calm, but two, like it was small adjustments that I could make during the match that could really make a big difference. So I loved playing with her. I wish I could play with her all the time.
And tell us a little bit, what was the pep talk there during the point and all that? What is she telling you that nobody else is telling you?
So one of the things that sometimes I do is with my lobs, they'll be a little bit short. And so she's always reminding me deep, high lobs. If it's high and short, it's still better than short and low,
That's very good.
Yeah.
Everyone listen to that. High is better than short. High and short is better than deep and low.
Yeah. And another thing is with my volleys, sometimes I can get into the habit of just making volleys. I don't like to miss. But if you're only making volleys, you're not really attacking. And there's points where maybe I could finish the volley and maybe she doesn't have to work as hard, if the point's already over.
So understanding when your player is putting a pass up the player and stepping up to the net to try to put it away.
Yeah.
Understanding when to anticipate and do that. Yeah.
100%. And we would just have really good communication. She would tell me where she was serving, where I should serve. It was a lot of fun to play with someone
How
at that level.
important is that? Because I tell all my students, to talk to each other. Communication is so important, and especially on the serve. Let's say if you serve cross court, the player then needs to go over the down the line, the other one comes to the mid. How important do you think that is? That communication?
Yeah, for me, I love it. I think I'm a good listener, and I like being coached, and I really respect her. So the more she would tell me, the better for me. As long as no one's yelling at me or something.
So for what you're saying is someone in the team has to take the lead and the other one has to be the listener.
Sure.
So what happened when you have two personalities that, no, let's do this, no, let's do that. So what have you had that situation with another player?
I guess with me.
That you don't agree?
With me, it hasn't happened just because I'm okay.
You're too nice.
If you, I feel like I can adapt to my partner. So if they need to be the leader or they have, they need to maybe just get it off their chest, like go ahead. It's not.
Yeah, but how do you know if in your gut feeling is telling you that they're wrong?
Well, then I think maybe there's a way to say it, and be like, okay, that's a good point, but maybe we could try this for a couple points. See how we do.
Yeah. Typically,
I want to win. So whatever we can do to communicate to win.
Typically, the older player is the one with more experience and is kind of coaching.
Well, I don't know.
Person
Maybe
kind of plays on
if
the
you play
drive
with a
as
younger
well.
player that is, a top level player, you might listen because they might have it.
Well, you're gonna put them on the left and say, "I'm gonna set you up to finish a point," but you gotta listen to me. This is how we're gonna do it, and I'll set you up. Don't worry, you can put it away.
Yeah.
That's typically what happens.
So you always play on the left, correct?
Except with Marta.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you. So
Yeah.
how did you make that switch?
So
How difficult or not?
I've been playing so for the 4 years, I've played probably one time on the left before the on the right before the PPL. I always played on the left. And then when we found out Marta was on the team, it was like, it's going to be hard to tell Marta Marrero to go to the right side. So I started to train for the month before.
Oh, that's great.
On the right side. The angles are different. The
Very
walls are different. My remate is different.
Your job is different.
100%.
Your turns are different, you know.
Everything's different. Someone told me it's like going to college, getting a degree, and now you're getting another degree.
Yes, it is so true. It is
Yeah.
so true. Did you learn a lot and understand the right side's responsibilities and give more maybe respect to the right side? Because usually the left side, they're out there playing and smashing. They don't see that right side as being important,
Yeah, that's true. I think I did gain respect for it,
Good.
Now I will be nicer to Irene when I play with her and be like, I understand.
But so I think the good thing is that you knew 1 month before that you were going to play with her, because some of the players, they don't know until the last minute who they're playing with. And if you have two lefties, so I think that was good for you to prepare, because We were talking to Anna and Jordy, and they were saying that suddenly, she needs to move to the other side, and until you get that feeling on the return,
Right.
it takes a while. It's so. What would you say is your best shot and your worst shot?
Okay, so my best shot, I think, is mi remate.
I knew that.
Me gusta sacarlo por
Por
tres.
tres.
Okay, por tres, good.
Yeah, that's my
Good.
favorite shot.
Good.
And I think that also makes me different than a lot of girls. I don't think it's that easy for a lot of girls to hit that.
It's true. I mean, a lot of times they're not hitting that either. I mean, because at that level, their defense, they can go out and get it.
Yeah.
So you have to know when to use that,
True.
But if you're playing, people that are not accustomed to that, then yes, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And was it difficult to learn? Because it's very difficult to teach.
Mm-hmm.
You coming from the tennis background, sort of like a kick. Was it difficult for you to learn that by three?
I think it came more natural to me. I guess my tips would be making sure you bend a lot, and I feel like I jump up to the ball. Like I'm really aggressive with it. So using a lot of your legs to
That's
get
what
into
we
it.
need to do, man.
Your back.
Jump
Well,
more.
that's what you need to do.
What?
Yeah.
So, as a tennis player, bending your back, using that snap, biomechanics is important. But as a tennis player, you're serving anyways, and you're doing that smash, so it does come a little more natural. And I used to do it all the time. I used to play left all the time. That's what I used to do, the smash, until I learned how to play paddle. Then I learned the other aerial shots, and I eventually ended up moving to the right.
Nice.
That was the 2020 rule. 20 years younger, 20 pounds lighter. So
Hey, you too, buddy.
yeah, me too. So, and what was the worst shot that the ones that every day you need to work on it, and that you have to grind it?
For me, it's gonna be at the lob. I want, and not that it's the worst shot, but I think I can get better at it and make sure it's deeper, make sure it's more in the corners, because I also think it's so important. It's so huge.
It is
so
huge.
underrated too.
It is
Yeah.
an underrated shot, without a doubt.
But without a doubt.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that.
And the lob is not that easy, I
Yeah.
mean, it's
And coming from tennis, you don't the lob is the last resource shot. Here you can hit 20 lobs in the same point.
Right.
It's
lob's necessary to get
it
to
is
the net and
necessary.
to get your players back.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what is your lob? Meaning finding that depth, precision.
Exactly. Making sure that it's close to the wall, getting low and really extending your arms. That's my shot I want to improve this year.
And players don't know, but I know that you play here at the reserve too, that the weather, it's a major factor too for you to have effective lobs. If you got to learn how to play with the wind, if it's against you and your back in front of you and all that. So
100%.
finding that range. And what do you prefer, playing indoors or outdoors?
I like indoor.
Oh,
I like nice
Yeah,
conditions.
controlled environment.
Yeah, I definitely.
Especially now with the humidity on the roof, it could be tough.
In Madrid, I mean, we play a lot of indoor, and I think I got a little used to it. But I'm also not a complainer. I like the hot weather. I'm a Miami girl at heart, so I feel like I can get used to the sweating and.
Let me ask you. I mean, I just came back from Madrid, and actually I was there in February too. In the middle of the winter, when you play indoors, the balls get so heavy. It is so difficult to hit it by three. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the glass, it gets so cold that. Do you find that difficult? Plus, it's so dry over there compared to what Miami is.
It's true. It's true.
Do you find it more difficult here or there to hit this match by three?
I think maybe here I found it a little more difficult.
I would assume it would be there because here with the heat, I mean, it should.
Yeah, but the balls get so heavy.
They get
here.
heavy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think it depends on the day sometimes. Because sometimes in Madrid, it sale muy rápido y it's okay.
All right, I have a big question. Big question. Oof. Yeah, I know. This is a big one, man. Yeah, that's right.
Let's get ready.
Okay. So, do you prefer now or do you like tennis or paddle? Which one would you choose?
Paddle, baby.
Oh,
Really? I like that, man.
Wow. A lot of people have difficult answering that question. They're like, but that's great. I'm just feel the same way. I'm all about paddle.
Yeah.
So there's a certain moment that you cross the point of no return. So you already crossed that one.
We crossed
That's
it.
it.
I think
Never. Your
yeah.
dad will be very sad.
My dad is sad.
Sad.
But actually, he's coming over to
I know.
the dark
I
side.
was impressed that your dad watching you there. I thought he was your manager, honestly.
Aw.
You know, it's like everything has to go through me. You know, it doesn't, you know.
Does he play paddle too?
Yeah, so he started.
But does he play tennis in the paddle court, or does he actually play paddle?
I
Or
think
is he transitioning?
he's in the transition phase, but
Gotcha.
he's doing pretty
That's
well.
Same thing with my dad. My dad taught me how to play tennis, and I teach down here, teach him how to play paddle. But he's having difficulty transitioning. You know, he still plays that tennis on the paddle court. You know, but at least he's there playing. You know,
Yeah.
it's important.
Since you started with paddle, have you ever tried to play tennis again?
Yes.
What was the feeling?
Oh my god, it's so weird. I'm like, first of all, this court is so big. And then like my arm is like the distance.
The racket is so long.
It's so
Almost
long.
hands, so you know. So
And then I'm like, I forgot what my forehand grip is supposed to be, you know. I'm
It
so
is
used to
so-
continental.
Western continental, Eastern continental, you know.
I played the other day. I was like, oh my God, it's so heavy, this racket. You know, I tried to handle it. And I was hitting every shot thinking that they were going to go out. Everything was going in. I mean,
Yeah.
it was funny that having that feeling, you know. But that's excellent.
Do you have any sponsors now? And if you don't, who would you want to work with? Who would you like to partnership with?
Yeah, so my sponsor right now is Knox.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Agustin Tapias.
yeah. that's a
Exactly.
cool
Oh my
one.
God.
Number
You're
one in the world.
La creme of la creme.
Yeah.
Shout out to Knox.
Oh, so how did it happen, and when did it happen?
Yeah, it happened recently, actually right before the PPL.
Wow.
So they got in touch with me, and I think they also want to look to expand here in the United States. So I think with my American background, it was like a great fit. And I always played with their racket, their pala.
That was the second
So-
question. You know, that's
What's the
perfect.
model racket that you play?
The one from Lamberti.
Nice.
Yeah.
The white one, the pretty one. Huh?
Yeah, it's the best.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's like
no?
control, you know, it's not too heavy.
Let's go Knox and let's
go
take
Knox.
over the American, you know.
Champion there.
Yeah.
Guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications.
And remember, it's free $99. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that subscribe button.
Thanks for tuning in to Paddle Smash Academy. We hope you'll find our videos informative, helpful in improving your game and learning all things paddle.
So until next time, keep improving your game. And remember, learn, play, and share.